After talking about part A, I'm going to move on to talk about part B. In this slide, you will see some common genres in part B1. You will notice formal email or formal letter are very common in part B1. Apart from email and letter, report is also another common text type in part B1. For part B2, email and also business letters are very common. You can also see that articles have appeared different times, like feature article, news article, or just article. Other than that, you will also find report in part B2, like writing the main section of a report, a funding report, or a report of a cinema. So in part B1, task 5 usually requires candidates to fill in complete sentences. You will find that formal email and letters are common text types appear in both part B1 and B2. So you should familiarize with the use of formal language and format of formal email or letter. Before the exam, you need to revise the format and language features of each text type thoroughly. Revising different kinds of text types and language conventions are very important because using the appropriate format and writing conventions allows you to gain higher marks in language and appropriacy domain. Next, I'm going to give you 6 tips for part B in pre-listening stage. You have 5 minutes to read the data file before the recording is played, and you should do the following steps. Step 1, you should familiarize yourself with the situation and the note page. Step 2, you should highlight your name and job title in the situation. Step 3, you should read the email or memo which tells you what to do in each task. Focus on task words like complete, ask, summarize, etc. because these task words are going to tell you what to do. In step 4, you should use numbering system to break down each instruction and label them with relevant tasks, such as 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, etc. Then in step 5, skim through the rest of the data file. Highlight useful information. Lastly, in step 6, you should indicate which points are relevant to which task next to what you have highlighted. While you are writing, you need to plan how long you should spend on each task. Try to identify the format, the tone, and formality you should use. Don't copy chunks out of the data file because copying too much will waste a lot of time. You should also try to paraphrase the words from the data file instead of copying. You should try to change the word form of the words or use synonyms. Don't forget to use appropriate complementary clause if you are writing letter or email. For example, if you know the name of the reader, you should use yours sincerely. And if you don't know the name of the reader, you should use faithfully. Here, I'm going to recap the marking criteria of Part B. There are a total of 4 domains. Number 1, task completion. That is about your content points. Number 2 is about language. That is your accuracy in spelling, grammar, and use of vocabulary. Another domain will be coherence and organization. That is about whether your ideas are clearly presented and are reader-friendly. Lastly is appropriacy. So it is about the tone and style that you use. So how to score higher marks in the language domain? Of course, you need to use a variety of advanced sentence structures. Instead of using I think, there are other phrases that you can use. For example, you can use it is an adjective to start a sentence. You may use words like it is vital, crucial, paramount, essential, etc. Here is an example for you. It is vital for candidates to read the instructions before they start writing. You can also start your sentence with gerund. That is a verb with ing form. So here is an example for you. Reading the instructions carefully before you start writing is vital. Other than gerund, you can also use conditional sentence, especially when you are giving suggestions. When you use conditional sentence to give suggestions, don't forget, in the if clause, you should use present tense. And in the main clause, you should use future tense. In this slide, I'm going to give you tips on how to improve the organization of points. I'm going to use HKDSE 2018 Level 5 exemplar. This exemplar is taken from task 9, which is a letter of reply. As you can see in the first paragraph, this candidate used I am writing to provide more details. In that way, he or she indicates the purpose very clearly in the first paragraph. In the body part, this candidate starts with to begin with. So this is a good way because he or she used sample words or phrases to start a new point. You can also try that in the exam. Besides using to begin with, you can also use apart from that or besides. When adding a new point, this candidate use also. So you can also use in addition to when you add a relevant point. A good topic sentence can also let the reader understand the main idea of the paragraph. So you can begin the paragraph with a topic sentence starting with concerning or regarding to. In that way, the purpose and the main idea of each paragraph will be very clear to the reader because it is more organized. You should also use different kinds of connectives to show the relationship of ideas. You can pause the video and watch them later. Moving on, I'm going to give you some tips for gaining more marks in appropriacy. As I have shown to you, formal email and formal letters are very common in Part B. So I would like to recap the format and style of formal email and also other common text types. So in formal letter or email, you should use personal tone, that is first person, I or we. If you are representing an organization or your company, then you should use we instead. Don't forget to use formal language. For example, if you would like to ask your reader a question, indirect questions should be used. You may start your indirect questions by using would you mind? Would you mind finishing the task by next Monday? In that way, that will be more polite. I'm going to talk about the format. You should begin your formal letter or email with the subject. It shows the main purpose of the letter or the email. Then, you should use the appropriate salutation. You should use dear sir or madam if you do not know the reader's name. However, if you know the reader's name, you should use dear Mr., Mrs., or Miss with the reader's last name. In the body part, of course, you need to address all the requirements stated in the data file. In the last paragraph, that is the closing, you should state who the reader can reach to if he or she has a question. And don't forget to leave your contact. Here is an example for you. Lastly, don't forget to use the right complimentary clause. Yours faithfully is used if you do not know the reader's name. If you know the reader's name, you should use yours sincerely. Other than email or letter, I would also like to talk about report. When you write a report, impersonal tone should be used to report the data. So you should use phrases like "it is found that." Don't forget to use modal verbs to give suggestions. For the format, you should begin your report by giving it a title. Then, in the body part, there should be subheadings for each section, such as background. You should state how the survey is done. Findings. When you present your findings, don't forget to use past tense and reported speech. You should also give a conclusion to state what the data implied and provide suggestions. Here, I would also like to talk about proposal. When you write a proposal, impersonal tone should be used in order to sound more objective. In other words, you can try to use passive voice. Similar to writing a report, you should use modal verbs to give suggestions. Begin your proposal with a title. You should also divide your body part with different subheadings, like black background, to state the existing problem. You should also give suggestions in your proposal. Don't forget to present only one suggestion in one paragraph. Lastly, in the conclusion, you should state you hope the proposal will be accepted. In the post-listening stage, you should spend time to do accuracy check because grammatical accuracy is very important. You should check spelling, tenses, parts of speech, single approval, subject-verb agreement, and also the meaning of what you have written down. That's all I would like to share with you. I wish you all the best in HKDSE.